Hey, another day on the bike. Another day on the bike in February. How about that shit? That is insane. Straight up craziness. But I'm not complaining. I think it's 64 degrees, 63 degrees right now. I think it's supposed to get up to 80 today. That's insane. But I'll take it. I'll take it all day long. Roads are a little wet, and I'm assuming, I'm not a meteorologist or a scientist, but I'm assuming it's because you know, the cooler temperatures and the ground was so cold, and now it's warmer, so this is really just like condensation from this little heat wave we had come through here. Yeah, it looks a little overcast. It looks like it might rain, but I checked 2 or 3 different weather apps on my phone, and none of them are calling for rain. Just a little overcast, so I'm riding. I'm on 2 wheels today. Look at this guy. This guy stopped right on the damn railroad tracks. Of all the things you don't want to do with a driver, and it's a paranoid thing, I'm sure, but you do not stop your car on the friggin' railroad tracks for any reason.
6 hours later.
Here's a topic of discussion that I'll bring up. So, last year I didn't do any, unfortunately, but this year I really plan to get the kayaks out of the shed and do some fishing. And I'm just curious how many other people who watch my channel are fishermen, or fisher women, or fisher people. And if you do fish, what kind of fishing do you prefer? Are you a saltwater fisher person? Do you like beach surf fishing? Do you go on chartered fishing trips out in the ocean? Are you a freshwater fisherman person? And then what kind of species do you go after in freshwater and saltwater? I've done several different types. I've been fortunate, I guess. I've been deep sea fishing a few times in Alaska and off of the coast of Florida. I've been salmon fishing in Alaska and some of the creeks and streams up there during the salmon runs, which is very interesting. I've used to fish for catfish at night quite often when I was stationed at Fort Campbell in Tennessee. Let's see, what else have I done? She said, screw that sign, didn't she? Well, you know, she's more important than everybody else, so she had to go.
Eventually.
So back to the subject, yeah, so, you know, I like bass fishing. I grew up as a kid. We would go to the river, you know, and when my dad was home on leave for the military, and we would go to rivers and fish for, you know, bluegill and things of that type of small stuff. And then when we were stationed in Germany, when I was a kid, we were stationed in Germany. There was lakes that we would go to fish, and they were trout ponds. You had to pay to fish there. It wasn't much, I don't think. I was like 5, 7 years old, 8, 9 years old, whatever it may be. But the money didn't affect me, of course. So, but yeah, the rules over there in some of those ponds, or I don't know if it's Germany-wide, but they're, I don't know, for lack of a better term, it's humane fishing. So here, you would just force the fish out of the water, stick it on a stringer, and throw it back in the water, you know, you're keeping. Over there, though, you cannot pull the fish out of the water by the hook. You have to net it. You have to use a net to dip the fish out of the water. And you can't use a stringer. You have to put them in a creel or a basket, which was fine. You know, we would go over there and catch trout. And most of the a lot of the ponds were You couldn't use any artificial baits in and things. And, you just had to, know what the rules were, or read them and follow them. So when he came back from Germany, he got stationed down in Georgia, Fort Gordon in Augusta. And there's a big lake down there. It's a reservoir, man-made reservoir. I forget, it's one of the second, third, first. It's one of the top 5 or 10 largest man-made reservoirs in the States. And it was Clark's Hill, or if you're from South Carolina, they call it Strom Thurmond Lake. And we would do a lot of bass fishing there. That's where I learned how to do, well, that's how I learned, where I learned to bass fish. You know, with all the different styles of classic worm fishing, different rigging them up for drop shot, and Texas style and Carolina style, or Carolina rig and Texas rig, different scenarios. And it's a science in itself. And the same with the color of the water. If it's murky, you use certain colors, and if it's dark, you use certain colors. And certain times of the year, you use top water, and when it's hot, the deeper the water, you have different things to get down in there, and there you go. So it's just a lot of different ways. So I learned how to do a lot of that there. I'm not good at any of it. I know how to, but I'm not that good at it. I also tried my hand at fly fishing when I was in Alaska, and did a little bit of it here. It's fun to try. It's a science, and it's one thing knowing how to cast a fly rod. It's another thing knowing how to lead streams and rivers. And that's something you just don't learn overnight. And I enjoy it, but I've never been successful with that. So bass fishing, I thoroughly enjoy, and a couple years now I've been, well, not last year I didn't do any, but a couple years before last year I've started fishing from my kayak, and I really like that in some of these small ponds. And it's not so much the fishing itself, it's just being out on the water in a kayak, and this time is drifting by and you don't care, you're just enjoying yourself, you're floating, you're fishing, you're floating, you're fishing. Anyway, just curious how many other people out there like to fish, and what else, how you fish, what species are you fishing for, and yeah, that'd be cool. Just answer on up. Oh, I'm also looking, I used to have one, and I'm afraid to buy a new one because I know I got one somewhere in my house, in my basement. We got a telescopic fishing pole that collapses down to about 15 inches or so, that I could throw in a bag on the back of the bike, so I could go fishing on some of these lakes around here. Off to my left is Fort AP Hill, and there's a lot of ponds out there. It's a military base, but I have access. And as long as I check into the right stations and everything, I can go fish on these ponds. And I think it'd be fun to be able to ride the bike out to some of these ponds, because none of the roads are paved going to most of them. So I could get a little bit of off-roading in, and as well as get a little fishing. I won't be able to take the kayak with me, of course, but anyway, I'm looking forward to something like that. Here's one of the ponds right here. This is another one of Fort AP Hill ponds right here.